Hello students, good morning all. In today's video, we are going to see principle of the management. In first video, we have seen the basic meaning and the characteristics of management. Let's see principle of management. Principles of management. First of all, what is principle? Principle means to do the work, guiding instruction for particular work. If you want to do any particular work, the guiding principle how that particular work is to be done, that is called principle. For example, if you want to teach someone how to teach, the instruction for that is called the principle of the teaching. In this chapter, we are going to study the principle of the management. Principles of the management means how to manage the business. The basic instruction to manage the business, it is called principle of the management. In this, let's take one example. For example, if there is a two manager in any company, there is a two manager. First is a lady manager and another is a male manager. And both the manager has given some duties. And to fulfill their duties, both the manager has given some employees. For example, the lady manager is very friendly and supportive. If any employees are not able to do any particular work in particular time frame, at that time still she support the employees. And on other hand, the other person who is a male, for example, he is from army background and he is believing in duty, he is believing in discipline. And if any employees are not able to do any particular work in a particular time frame, at that time he scolded him and asked him to do that particular work in a particular time. Otherwise he will do any discipline, or otherwise he will take serious action against that particular employee. Which manager is best, the supportive or strict? In this, we cannot say this manager is best or this manager is best. To see which manager is best or which method is best or how to manage the business, we have to see some of the basic principles of the management. First of all, before going to the principle of the management, let's take some basic ideas regarding the principles of the management. There are various important principles at the base of management. Henry Fayol and Frederick Taylor are the persons to give their views on the principles of management first and foremost. The principle of the management, this idea was given by Frederick Taylor and Henry Fayol. Firstly, he joined as a simple worker in a factory and now he is known for his notable contribution in the field of management. Henry Fayol and Frederick Taylor both are joined in the business organization as a common worker, and after that both of them give very important contribution in the field of management. In his book Principle of Scientific Management, Taylor has written one book. The name of that book was Principles of the Scientific Management. In this book, Henry Fayol Taylor has said that there are principles of management. In the management, there are some principles and scientific information can be procured about its principle. Whatever the principles are there, the scientific information also be there for the principle of the management. So, first of all, we are going to see 14 principles of the management. Henry Fayol has presented 14 principles of management in his book General and Industrial Management, which are worth noting. Henry Fayol has written one book. The name of that book was General and Industrial Management. In that book, Henry Fayol has given 14 principles of the management. According to them, if you follow the instruction or if you follow the principles of the management, at that time your business will be more profitable in comparison to others. First of all, unity of direction. unity of delegation. In business organization, to do particular work, you have to direct your business employees in this unity of direction. Every manager must direct their employees towards one particular goal. As you know, every business organization has particular objective. So you have one objective. So all the employees must be directed toward the same employees. There should be systematic planning so that activities having similar objectives being handled by employees should receive the same direction of guidance. It means you have only one objective, so all the employees of a business organization must be directed towards same direction. This will bring in better coordination and will reduce misunderstanding and conflicts. It means if you are directing your employees towards the same direction, at that time there is no chance to create the misunderstanding among the employees. Now, next, delegation of authority and responsibility. Delegation of authority and responsibility. First of all, you know the meaning of authority and responsibility. What is authority? Authority means you have given some powers, that is authority, and responsibility means you have given some task and you have to do that particular task in a particular time frame or particular time. That is called responsibility. So, delegation of authority means what? Delegation means to give some of your authority to your subordinates. It is called delegation of authority. And if you are not giving your authority to your subordinates, it is not right in the business organization. There should be proper delegation of authority and responsibility so that every function is done systematically and responsibility can be fixed. It means if you are delegating your authority to your business employees, at that time the systematic work can be done and the responsibility of the employees can be fixed. If you are not delegating any authority to any person, at that time you cannot fix the responsibility. If any problem arises in your business organization, who is responsible for that problem? If you delegated the authority, at that time you can fix the particular authority or particular responsibility to your business employees. Now, while delegating authority and responsibility, a person's efficiency should be given more importance. It means whenever you delegate your authority, at that time you must be aware about your efficiency of the business organization. If any employees are not able to do any particular work, at that time he must not given that particular work. If he is given to that work, he will not able to do the work. So the efficiency level of the business workers should be kept in mind while you are delegating the authority. Next, discipline. Discipline. In every business organization, there must be strictly followed discipline. If you are not follow the discipline, at that time there may be chances to create problem. Let's see. Discipline should be strictly observed, at which and every stage there should be appropriate control and supervision so that discipline is strongly enforced and observed. As we know, there is a number of stages in the process and the operation of the business activity. So in every stage there must be discipline maintained. If you are failed to maintaining discipline in your business organization, at that time there is a number of problems may arise. Violation of law should command immediate action. If any employees are not working as per your discipline, the particular step must be taken against it. For example, as we all know, there are very few employees in the business who really like the work. Others are not really like the work. At that time, they will not be disciplined. So how you can take all of the employees in a discipline? At that time, you must create some rules and regulations, and you have to give that particular rules and regulations to your employees, and they have to follow their discipline and the rules and regulations. If any employees are not accepting the particular rules and regulations, or any employees violating that particular rules and regulations, strict action should be taken against him. This is also one of the important principle of the management. Next, unity of command. Unity of command means every employee must get command from one person. For example, you all are students, and in one classroom, if there are two professors and they both professor teaching you simultaneously, एक ही समय पर आपको कोई दो प्रोफेसर पढ़ा रहे हैं, what will happen? At that time you are not able to do your task. In same, in business organization, there is some work assigned to your business employees. So the command must be given by one person and it must be clear. Unity of command should be maintained. Every employee should receive clear and unambiguous orders from his higher ups, so that there is no irresponsible behavior of carrying the orders, no misunderstanding. It means whenever higher officer is given any task or any orders, it will be clear given, so that there is no irresponsible behavior. If you are clearly given orders to your subordinates, you have asked you how to do the work, this work in a particular time. At that time, there is no chance to arise any misunderstanding. So your employees can create, or your employees can do that particular work in a particular manner. If you are giving more than one orders to your business employees, at that time they are not able to do that particular work. So there must be unity of command in your business organization. Division of work. Division of work, what means distribution of work, is only one person is capable to do all the work. For example, if you are assigning any work by me, I am giving you all the work. Are you able to do that particular work? No. In business organization, there must be division of work. There should be division of work. Division of work should be done as per the capability and competency of the employees. Whatever the capabilities and competency of the employees, as per the efficiency or as per the competency, all the employees given the particular work, so that the fruits of specialization can be obtained and the efficiency of the employees can be increased. For example, if any employees are given any work without seeing anything, if he is master in computer and we are giving him clerical work, is it proper? Is it right? No. If he is master in a computer work, he must be given computer work. So you can get the specialization benefit. And if any worker is capable to do only one work and he is given more than one work, is he able to do the work? No. At that time he is not able to do the work. So division work of work must be done in a particular manner, so that at that time you can give maximum benefits of the specialization of your employees, and you can get the benefit of the efficiency level of your business organization. Next, proper order. Proper orders. Orders related to arrangement of things and people, where your employees to be work and where all the employees is to be placed. For example, in your business organization, there is a number of employees and there is a number of machineries are in your business organization. So every machinery must have place, and every person also must have a space. Everything should be in its place, and there should be place person in an organization should be properly placed. How many employees are in business organization? All the people must be placed in a systematic manner so that you can get the maximum benefits of a business organization. For example, in a business organization, there is one person who is a very clever in doing particular work. For example, he is very clever in communication, and you are giving the task to the computer operator. Is it right? No. Every person must be given proper orders. Wherever the employee is placed, it must be right. Next, equity. Equity means equality. To attain loyalty and devotion from person and manager should be just and kind. Equity is the combination of kindness and justice. For example, in India, there is a two person. One is treated very nicely and others are not treated nicely. Is it true? Is it right? इंडिया में कोई भी दो पर्सन है, एक अच्छे तरीके से उसको ट्रीट किया जा रहा है, दूसरे को नहीं किया जा रहा है. Is it equality? No, it is not equality. In the business organization, it is also happen when there is a number of employees are working in the business organization, and if you treat all your business organization employee rightly, it is your duty and it is your task to attain loyalty and devotion from personnel. If you want devotion and if you want loyalty from your business organization, you should treat every employee in a loyal manner, in a equality manner. Manager should be just and kind. Manager must be same for all the employees. If any employee is doing right job, they must be appreciated. If any employees are not doing right job, it must be punished. This must be the reason. This must be the behavior of any personal manager. Equity is the combination of kindness and justice. If you, as I already said, if any person are not doing any work properly, he must be punished. And if any person working in the business organization doing their job very honestly, he must be appreciated. This is called equality. And in business organization, there must be equality in every manner. Next, ideal wage system. Ideal wage system. Now students, give me an answer. Why the employees are working in the business, or why any person doing job? In the answer, you can say that every employee or every person who are working for money. And if any person are working for only, there is a number of other reasons are there, but the main reason is to earn money from the business activities. If all the employees are working for the money, and if you are not successful to give ideal wage to your employees, what will happen? The employees will leave your business organization and move other organizations where they can give more wages. For example, in this, the wage system should be just and fair, so that employees get wages as per their competency and skill. This will prevent dissatisfaction and a lazy attitude towards the job. Every employee of the organization must be given wages as per their competency. If any employees are not given wages as per their competency, at that time, if he will get better opportunity than you and other organization who is giving him better wages, at that time that employee will shift to another business organization and it will create bad effects on your business organization. So the wage system must be ideal. Whatever the competency of the business employees, they must be given that much amount of the money. This will prevent dissatisfaction and a lazy attitude towards the job. If you are giving proper wages to your business employees, at that time it will not create any dissatisfaction. And others, if you are giving less money to your business employees, at that time they all become lazy in a long time, because because they feel I am doing work more than my capacity, and this organization is not giving me a proper wages. So they all become lazy in a long time, and the laziness of your business employee is not beneficial for you. So every employee should be given idle wages. Next, decentralization of authority. First of all, you all are aware about the authority. What is the decentralization of authority? When any person delegates authority to their subordinates. For example, if I am the manager of any company, I have burden of work, I have number of works in my business organization. If some of my work I will given to my employees, it is called the decentralization of authority. In this, in order to obtain the best overall result, the extent to which the authority must be centralized or decentralized must be clearly defined and understood. How much authority I may be or I must be decentralized to my employees, it is called decentralization. The centralization or decentralization of authority depends on the size, type and form of an industry. For example, if the size of the business organization is small, there is a very less requirement of decentralization of authority. And if the size of the business organization is very huge, for example, Reliance Industries, there must be decentralization of authority, because if you take all the authority within you, it will not give you fruitful result. So, decentralization of authority must be taken to consideration. Next, scalar chain. What is scalar chain? As we all know, in most of the organization there is a three level: higher level, middle level, and lower level. If any middle level employee wants to communicate about any matters, is it is right to communicate directly with higher level authority? No, it is not right. There must be scalar chain. For example, if any higher level authority wants to give some instruction or some information to their employee, at that time there should be given some. First of all, higher level authority will give instruction to the middle level, and middle level authority will give instruction to the lower level. This chain must be followed in all the situations. It will create discipline in your business organization. The chain of authority should flow continuously from top to bottom. Your scalar chain must be from top to bottom: higher level authority, middle level authority, and lower level authority. Every person should be linked to a proper system of authority and control, so that orders can be properly given. In business organization, each and every employee must be know about their particular task. For example, if any business employees are working in a business organization, he must be aware where he is in a lower level, in a middle level, or in a higher level authority. So, if you anytime communicate with that particular employee, you can take particular step to communicate with that particular employee. Fair is of the view that there is no need of rigidity observing this chain. Henry Fayol, who is given this principles, he says if you can follow this scalar chain, it is well and good. But if you are not following this chain in any manner, there should be no rigidity in this form, because there are some questions which must be directly connected to the higher level authority and lower level authority. For example, if you want to know the efficiency level of middle level authority and how they work the business, how they are properly working or not, if you want to know that, you have directly asked to your lower level employees. So there should be no rigidity to follow the scalar chain, and Fayol is not in the favor of the scalar chain. Next, stable organization. Students, after completing your UG or after completing your study, you are going to job anywhere, you are going to work anywhere, and in that job, for example, the owner of the company or owner of that particular organization says you can job here, you can work here, but your stability is not maintained, your stability is not decided. If next month, if we does not have any money, we will remove you from any particular job or any particular work. If you are working in any business and there is no stability, are you working in that particular business organization? The answer is no. Where there is no stability, there are very few persons or very few employees who continuously working in that particular organization. The organization should be stable. Employees should be given job security and they should feel secure working with the organization. Wherever you work, there must be stability. Your job should be stable. Your job must be secure. And the next part is your work. You must be there safety. For example, here given, they should feel secure working with the organization. There is a security must be in your business organization. If you cannot provide security to your business organization, it is also very harmful for you and for your business employee. So you should stable in your business organization and you should provide security to your business employees. Next, initiative. Initiative. We all are commerce. We all are connected with commerce. So we all know higher risk means higher profit, higher return, and lower risk means lower profit. But in business organization, there are number of employees who are anytime ready to take any risk. If you give any risky task to particular objective, there are some employees who are never ready to take that particular responsibility, and there are also some employees who are anytime ready to take any particular risk. So managers should initiate the employees who are ready to take risk. It will give best result sometimes to the business organization, but their employees to take managers should encourage their employees to take initiative. Managers should encourage their employees to take any particular risk, but within the limits of their authority and discipline. That risk must be in the discipline manner, must be in a limit. If any person are taking too much risk, higher risk, and it will go in a huge amount of loss, at that time it will not benefit or it will not proper decision for you. So managers should encourage their employees to take risk, take initiative, but it must be in a particular way, it must be in a limit. Next, spirit records. Next word is spirit D. This is totally new for you. ये जो word है, this totally new for you. Spirit records means what? In childhood, you all are heard one story. There is a story. There is a number of students or number of children who are playing. One person goes to them and says and gives all the children to one stick and asks them to break the stick. All the children break the stick. After that, that man gives all the children bunch of stick, and no children is success to break the particular things. Means it is a stick. It means when there is only one stick can be broken. But if there is a bunch of stick, it cannot be broken. It is called the strength of unity. If your business organization in a united way, there is no one who can break your business organization. In this, it is the principle that unity is strength. Your unity is your strength. The manager should develop team spirit in his employees. If manager working properly and they are doing particular team spirit in his employees, team spirit is of great importance of accomplishing tasks. In your business organization, if you want to accomplishing any task, they must be follow up the group efforts. For example, there are two departments in your business organization. First is purchase department and another is selling department. And there is no coordination between purchase department and selling department. What will happen if your business will run smoothly? No, there is a number of problems arises in your business organization. So here, your business organization must be in a united way so that you will get the result of group efforts. Now, 14th principle and the last principle of the business organization. Subordination of individual interest to general interest. Subordination of individual interest to general interest. As we all know, what is the main objective of any business enterprise? The main objective of any business enterprise is to get maximum profit from the selling activities. To get maximum profit from the selling activities. And what is the main objective of employees? Their main objective is to get maximum salary from the business. And these both objectives are in a different direction. These both objectives are in different direction. In that, the principle of management says the main objective for general objective given more important than the individual objective. If you only working for your own, at that time your business organization cannot work. And if you are working for your business organization profit can be increased, and amongst that profit, after that profit will increase, you will also get more values from your business organization. So, subordination of individual interest to general interest. General objective must be given more important than the individual interest. Thank you.